In recent news, Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter, musician, and gospel music super producer Kirk Franklin had a heated exchange with his estranged son. During this convo, Kirk Franklin cusses out his son. Unbeknownst to him, he was being secretly recorded, and this conversation was released to the media. Okay, first and foremost, who's in the wrong in this situation? And from a pastoral perspective, how would I counsel Kirk Franklin or any member of my church going through a similar situation? Well, stick around, I'm going to explain it. Let's go. Without going into too much detail, Kirk Franklin's son had been in and out of counseling and therapy for 20-some years. He had been dealing with behavioral issues, temper, mental things for a long time. So this sheds light on what Kirk Franklin was truly dealing with. Kirk Franklin was willing to put in meaningful work to get his son the help he needed to get him in a better place mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, but it just eventually became a toxic relationship. So who's at fault in this situation? Well, I think the son is clearly in the wrong for the simple fact you should never talk to your father like that. It doesn't matter what you've gone through with your father. There's a line we should never cross. There's a natural pecking order. There is a natural hierarchy within the macro family structure. You have the matriarchs, but then you have the patriarchs. Kirk Franklin is that man's father. He deserves respect, and Kirk Franklin was not given it. Another reason why the son is at fault is because the Bible does not take lightly disrespect to your parents. Notice what the Old Testament says about children who dishonor their parents. Leviticus 29 says, "For anyone who curses his father or mother shall surely be put to death." Now there's a difference between cursing and cussing, but one can make the argument that the words, the threats, the mocking that Kerrion directed towards his father is just as bad as someone proclaiming a curse on someone's life. Now check out what Deuteronomy 21 says about a rebellious son. If a man has a stubborn or rebellious son who will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and though they discipline him, will not listen to them, then his father and his mother shall take hold of him and bring him out to the elders of the city at the gate of the place where he lives. And they shall say to the elders of the city, "This our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard." Then all of the men of the city shall stone him to death with stones. So you shall purge the evil one from your midst, and all Israel shall hear and fear. Yeah, let's be happy we're not Israelites living under the Mosaic law. This wouldn't be a story right now because this young man wouldn't be around to tell it. And one might argue and say, well, because he's 33 years old, he's not technically under his father's authority. Well, guess what? Obedience may look different as adults, but the principle still endures. The adult child does not owe the parent obedience, but they do owe the parent honor. And one might say, well, isn't Kirk Franklin responsible for how this guy turned out? I would say yes, if Kirk Franklin wasn't in his son's life, but Kirk has been clear that this young man has been dealing with behavioral issues for years, and Kirk and his family has put in time and a lot of effort to get this young man professional help. And if you're extending yourself and the other person is not reciprocating, well, you can only do what the other person allows you to do. You can't force anyone to change. Since we know who's at fault, what advice would I give Kirk, or anyone for that matter? Well, first and foremost, pray for more self-control. We cannot let people take us to a place where we lose our temper, lose our mind, lose our religion. This is why we must avoid toxic people. Toxicity can poison you, can weaken you, and can kill you, and toxic people can do the same thing. Jesus said in Matthew 7 verse 6, "Don't waste what is holy on people who are unholy. Don't throw your pearls to pigs. They will trample the pearls and then turn and attack you." And I know this is his son we're talking about, but no one is obligated to deal with a toxic person, and love the hell out of them. Capital H. Don't let someone bring you down to their hell, bring them up to your heaven. Simply put, love those who hate you, do good to those who do evil against you. The Bible says in Romans 12:20, "In doing this, you will heap burning coals of shame on their heads. Don't let evil conquer you, but conquer evil by doing good." If you found this video helpful and you made it to the end, do me a huge favor and subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell button to be notified. Like this video, give it a thumbs up. I'm Pastor Fred. This is About a Book. I'll be back next week with another video. Peace.